And welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of the TV show podcast. My name is Jay Black, recording live from Hawaii, joined by Rhea Hughes, whose son just came back from Hawaii and
I hate both of
slept
you.
in. and our wonderful Angelo Cataldi, who's I believe just got back from what I like to call the East Coast Hawaii, the Jersey Shore. Angelo, how are you? Did we lose Angelo? Oh,
Oh,
Angelo,
Angelo, you muted
You're
yourself.
muted. You're muted, Angelo.
All right,
But
can
I
you hear
wanted to
me
mute
now?
him. I wanted to mute you your entire career.
What I said is Sea Isle City and Honolulu are virtually identical. So
I don't
it's
know why you.
perfect.
I don't know why you need to go to Honolulu when you have Sea
Oh.
Isle right there. The only difference is we have saltwater taffy; they don't. Okay, so let's hop into what I think is the biggest news of the week, which is that Spider-Man, Brand New Day, made $900 million worldwide in its first weekend. It broke the domestic record for a movie. It edged out Avengers Endgame. It came in at about 360 million in its first week. It had the biggest Tuesday in history yesterday at $46 million. It's already at 1.15 billion in 5 days. This is the biggest movie of all time, maybe. And I'm stuck in Hawaii when I just want to go to a movie theater and watch this movie. So I haven't been able to see it. But our own Rhea Hughes went with Clark and got to see, her son got to go see the movie. Rhea, does it deserve all of this? Did it make the money that
Here's
it
what I'm going to
deserved?
say. It was so nuts. So, Clark's birthday was yesterday, he turned 17. So I said, hey, for your birthday, let's start off with, you just got back from your, New Zealand, Hawaii, Australia trip. Let's go see Spider-Man because we both love Spider-Man. We love it so much. He got me a key once for our house that's a Spider-Man key. You can see
I
that
love
there.
it.
So, so we tried to get him. The only show we could get a ticket to was the 3D version. I'm not particularly fond of 3D,
Yeah, me
but
neither.
the other, we couldn't get it to any other show on Sunday. So we went with a friend, Sela, and absolutely loved it. I know why it got 46 million, its biggest day on Tuesday, and that had to be word of mouth. So basically, what this is if you know if the previous Spider-Man, the people who Peter Parker loved in his life, MJ, his friend Ned, he had to erase their memories of him to save
Yeah.
them. So this is a much more emotional Spider-Man, I would say, than previous ones, the multiverse, all that stuff. I don't care for that kind of stuff. Um, but he is profoundly lonely and he's checking in on his friends who don't remember him, checking out their social media and seeing how much fun they're having without him at college. And I think it's kind of almost like, oh, sorry about that. It's almost like liking it to anybody in real world who's being depressed. It starts to affect him physically to where his spider webs aren't working well because he's just got this rage because of the loneliness. But he's now working with the New York police. New York is safer than it's ever been. But then this character gets introduced where they can basically take over people, like shape shifting or whatever. And so he's got to solve that. MJ and Ned come back into it, but I have to tell you, it's not just like a Spider-Man movie. It's a really great movie. That's how much I'll recommend it. Frank the Punisher in it is that's John Bernthal. He's a
Yeah, great.
terrific, he's so good in this. He's a great foil to Spider-Man and Peter Parker. The Hulk makes a return, Mark Ruffalo. I just thought it was terrific from beginning to end. And Zendaya, we talked about her being a movie star. She when she's on the screen, you're just like, she's amazingly beautiful, but she's a great actress. Clark and I absolutely loved it.
Angela, does it make you excited now to go see it?
Um,
Are you on your way to the theater to see Spider-Man?
I'm glad you asked me because I have a prepared statement I would like to make about the phenomenon of Spider-Man. There's my statement.
Ah,
Ah,
That's my
God.
grandson. That's little Dutchy. I got
uh,
that this morning. They have Spider-Man mania, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to give up, guys. Can I be honest? Do you understand? A month ago, I was on this podcast and I was saying, it looks like the pendulum's changing and all these big splashy films are going away and we're getting back to storytelling. Now, Rhea's saying that Spider-Man, whichever one this is storytelling. Not for me. All right. But here's the thing. Between that and the Odyssey, they have been printing money the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Big movies are not going away.
No.
Franchises are here forever. I have to deal with this. It's hard for me, but I will
take your grandkids. I'm telling you, take your grandkids.
No, their parents will take them there and all. No, I don't want to put myself through it. Although, Rhea, would you say it's just a good movie? That's the best thing I can hear.
But what I'm saying is everybody's looking at this like, oh, it's part of a franchise. It's Marvel.
Yeah.
You get him, swinging. You get the action scenes, but I think it also tells a good story, and it's got comedy in it. That's what I kind of like about the Spider-Man movies. The relationship between Frank the Punisher, as John Bernthal, and Peter Parker is very good. I will just tell you that it's fun. It was a great couple hours at the movie theater.
Then let me give you a preview of a segment coming up. You saying it, Rhea, almost gets me to see it. If Jay Black had said it, it would only redouble my commitment never to see it.
So what I'll say about the phenomenon of Spider-Man and the Odyssey back to back is one of the things, and this sounds like just like a movie star nonsense thing, but when Tom Holland decided to come back to Spider-Man, he did it after doing the Odyssey and working with Christopher Nolan. And part of the press with this is he said, I'm only coming back if you give me a reason to come back, if you give me a story, and it's not just another franchise installment. This is what I learned from Christopher Nolan. That's what Tom Holland said. And I think what we're seeing, Angelo, this summer is that the franchise movies that just came out that wanted to do well because it was a franchise, the Masters of the Universe. You remember this from when you were little. Here's a movie. They flopped tremendously. Yep. The big movies that had big story and spectacle to go with it did very well. So I think the lesson, as always, is it doesn't matter how big the movie is. If there's a story there, people will go see it. So I think that hopefully the lesson is quality over franchise. That's what I'm hoping that people take away from it.
I'm sorry, Jay. Could you repeat that? I wasn't listening.
Hurtful, Angelo. Hurtful.
Very
and you know what? Let's go into the next segment because I'm going to start because I feel like if you were listening last week, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, we decided that we'd all give a recommendation to the other two members of the podcast that they had to watch. And you gave two recommendations, Angelo, one different for Rhea, one different for me. Rhea, you gave one to both of us, and I gave one to both of you. And I want to start because I watched The Unforgotten, which was Rhea's show. And Rhea, I was frustrated by The Unforgotten because I thought it was going to wrap up the mystery by the end of the first episode. I didn't realize it was the whole season, Rhea. Yes. And what a great show this was. I really appreciate you introducing me to it. What I love about it is you have all these different strands of story at the beginning, and you have no idea how they all link together. And the narrative of the show trusts you with it. They don't explain it. You're just watching and you're invested in each little storyline. And then at the end, you realize that they're all somehow tangentially related to this 40-year-old murder. And we're going to find out over the course of the season what it's about. It instantly hooked you. The characters, the main characters were lovable. Everybody else seemed a little bit dark and weird. I absolutely adored The Forgotten, and I appreciate you putting it out there for us. Angelo, what did you think of The Forgotten, Rhea's show?
I love most of Rhea's recommendations, and she's got me to love British TV. This one was a little slow for me, and it didn't connect with me. I thought it was real methodical, very intricate, and mostly boring. It was slow. And you got to understand something about me. Whenever they're doing a police show about cold cases, Rhea, this is the worst kind of show for me because you know me better than anyone. I'm incredibly impatient.
You are.
The idea of taking a 40-year-old murder and solving it. Most of the
No,
people who have a
that
dead end.
fascinates me. But Ange, I get it. That's why I tried to warn you.
Yeah.
Like Jay said,
Yeah.
they lay the groundwork for
I
about
know.
3 episodes,
I
and
know.
then it punches you in the face, and it's why I've like loved all 6 seasons of it. But yeah, I mean, if that doesn't work for you, it is frustrating in the beginning to figure out how all the pieces go together.
Rhea,
And
I'll say
Angelo,
this. Rhea, of the two recommendations that I was dealing with, yours was far superior to the other one. Oh my, Jay Black. Oh,
well, we'll get to that in a second. Let's save that for the end. I want to say, Rhea, they did hang a hat on the idea that this is a 40-year-old murder. They talk about it in the episode where she talks to her dad, and he goes like, "What are you doing? Why are you going after this?" And she says, "Well, does it make it any less important that the person died 40 years ago or yesterday?" And I think that the show itself grapples with the idea of, is this an important thing to worry about? I just thought it was great and layered. I really appreciate it. Angelo, I want to talk about your recommendation to me before we move on. I'm an easy, I don't want to say lay, but I'm an easy lay. I love these shows. I liked Rescue Me when it first came out. And I'm going to tell you, going back to it, one of the things I missed was the feeling of TV in that first 5 years after The Sopranos, when David Chase showed the world you could do all this. You could have a complex character, you could have continuing storylines, and you could really delve into characters that we hadn't seen on TV before up until that time. And I miss it. I mean, this, if you think about it, there was the Sopranos came out, and then there was The Shield, which we both loved, Rescue Me, which explores firemen. We saw Mad Men, we saw Breaking Bad. And, I had forgotten just how fast this show starts, where you have all these 5, 7, 8 characters, all with different problems, done in a very funny, and I want to say masculine way, this idea of everybody's breaking each other's chops. I adored it. And, again, the only problem with Rescue Me is that you look at it, there's 7 13-episode seasons. And at least with Rhea's, you're looking at like 42 episodes total versus, you got 150 episodes to wade through. But man, I enjoyed it so much. And what a great recommendation. Thank you, Angelo.
I'm not wading through anything. I haven't watched it since it came out when it was originally on. And it may be the best binge of any one I've had. And I didn't think it would, because it is tied to 9/11. And you go, well, that's going to kind of get dated. It isn't. Yeah. And the reason it isn't is because the characters are so vivid. And I'm going to tell you something. Dennis Leary is a stand-up comic. You probably know him. He was so good in that.
Yes.
You would say to yourself, why didn't he become a megastar based on the performance in Rescue Me? Because he was the executive producer. He was a writer. He did every aspect of that show. And he never did anything after that.
He did the Ref movie, which was one of my all-time favorite movies.
But it only, it wasn't a hit, Rhea. None of the stuff he did after was a hit. This is his masterwork. And, that's the thing about binging. Sometimes a binge doesn't play that great the second time. Right. And sometimes it plays better. Rescue Me plays as well as any binge I've had.
Yeah, and you're right. The layers of character that he has, he really plays that character great. And just one last thing, one of the things about the Odyssey that people have been knocking is they're saying this idea of the trauma, past trauma being dealt with. 20 years ago, Rescue Me is 7 seasons of trauma, of these guys who have this big unresolved thing that none of them are willing to face. And it's about coming to terms with this horrible thing that happened. And, in a lot of ways, it reflected the nation at that time. 2004, we all have this trauma. We're working through it. Great show. All right, Rhea, you got suggested by Angelo a show that both Angelo and I like very, very much, which is Love on the Spectrum. Did you find it, how we found it, to be charming?
Angelo, I'm going to tell you this. It was absolutely lovely, which is what the British love to say. I do not like dating shows. I never watch them. I find them to be scripted. They want fights. They want dramas. They want people cheating on each other. This was just absolutely delightful. Madison and Tyler I
Oh,
love those two so much. Like I
yeah.
want to, I can I give a spoiler away? Would that be a problem? I want
Go
to go to
ahead.
their wedding. Okay, that proposal was
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my entire life. The mom of, I think it's Emma, when
Yeah.
she said, I had to stop focusing on what Emma isn't and what she is. And I was like, I mean, that could be said for like anybody in any walk of life. I found it delightful. Every aspect of it. That it's
Thank you.
just normal people, like they're just going about it the same way we do. Awkwardness on a first date, nervousness on a first date. I mean, it was just, I just couldn't love it anymore. I have to tell you, I was
Wow.
surprised that I loved it as much as I did.
I'm beaming, Rhea. And let me just say the thing about it, that the gift it gave to me all these years, that there's also an Australian version, which I've seen all on Netflix. Um, it made me look at autistic people differently, in a much more positive and inviting way. And, if somebody can change an old man's attitude the way that show has, it's got a value that goes beyond just the entertainment of watching the shows.
Well, and it's like, I mean, we can compare that, Angelo, Jeffrey Lurie owns the Eagles. I
Yep.
believe his brother's autistic. What he's done for the research and study into autism
Yeah.
is unbelievable. And,
Yeah.
the millions of dollars. So it's a big cause here in Philadelphia, and I can't recommend it more.
I got to say, watching this show also makes me look a little differently at myself as I see some of my own issues being reflected in the show.
Mm.
I tell a joke in my act where, one of the characters is obsessed with trains and keeps talking about trains over and
Yes.
over again.
Yes.
And, he stops himself. He's like, I shouldn't be talking about trains this much. And I'm watching it going, I'd like to hear more about the trains personally. And and my wife is like, this is why I want you to watch the show, Jay. I want you to see how these people handle it. Maybe you could change a little bit. Which actually is a nice segue into the final segment of this, which is
Wait. You recommended for me to watch a show that you recommended.
that's what I mean. I wanted to talk
Oh,
about this
gotcha.
because
Yeah.
my own issues, which is I knew I was stepping into dangerous territory by recommending this show, which is an out there crazy kind of show that I personally love, and I think the last couple of seasons have been fantastic. Rhea, what did you think of Rick and Morty? My suggestion.
And you know that I am fine with animation. I
Yeah.
watch, I'm cool with it. And I think the world of you, Jay. This is one of the strangest shows ever. Sci-fi multiverse. You got a crazy grandfather who's a
Yeah.
scientist, taking the kids, it was a lot to process. It
It's
is
a
not
lot.
in my
Yeah, I know.
genre. I tried, but I went, well, this is Jay. This is crazy, cartoonish, nuts. But I could absolutely see if you're a sci-fi person like Jay, why you love it.
Hey, Rhea, that was the most diplomatic. I thought the show
Yes.
was terrible I've ever seen. Now, for the most undiplomatic, I thought the show was terrible. Let's switch over to Angelo Cataldi and his thoughts on Rick and Morty.
All right, so Jay, I said to myself, to be entirely fair, no matter what I was watching, I was going to watch a minimum of 15 minutes of it. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
The last 11 minutes were tantamount to waterboarding. All right. It was just beyond awful. All right. This is so. Here's how badly I reacted to Rick and Morty. I swear to God, Jay. And we go back over 14 years now. You did 10 years on our show as our TV.
It's been a long time.
Now
Yeah.
we've done pretty close to 4 here on this podcast.
Yeah.
It made me question why I ever agreed to do a TV podcast with a lunkhead like you. If that is what you consider entertainment, I don't know. It's hard for me to continue knowing, like, I'm happy that you said nice things about Rescue Me and stuff like that, because I realized, well, at least you can appreciate some good stuff.
Yes.
But when you're watching utter mental slop like that,
No.
right? I was even trying to picture you on the couch, trying to watch that and being transfixed and go, oh my God, and it's swill. It's just awful. It is bad. It's bad animation. It's bad dialogue. It's bad story. Every aspect of it stinks. And you think it's wonderful.
I think it's beyond wonderful. I think it's genius. I think Dan Harmon is an absolute genius. And here's what I'm going to say, Angelo. Had your response been gray, had it been in the middle, had it been not as electric as it is, I would have doubted myself. I figured that it would either be fantastic, you would go, Jay, you're right, this is great, or you'd hate it. A mild response would have been upsetting to me, but I took a chance. I thought maybe
you're not
you'd
grasping. You're not. 12 minutes into the 15 minutes, Gail came into the living room because I was groaning. Do you understand? She almost called 911, Jay. I was in that level of pain.
Oh my God.
Well, I need some help from the Rick and Morty lovers in our audience. There's a little button that says send us a message in the podcast app. Please let me know your thoughts on Rick and Morty, because I'd love to have a little bit of ammunition to come back at Angelo and say this is a well-respected show among people that know television. Now, that being said, Angelo, you and I disagree on Rick and Morty, but I think there's one thing we both agree on, and that's our great friend Steven Singer. Can we at least agree that Steven Singer is the best sponsor we could possibly have for this podcast?
Well, yes, Steven Singer is everything that Rick and Morty isn't. It is simple honesty in a way that, we all go to a jewelry store. We go, oh man, what am I going to do? What am I supposed to get her? It's Rhea, just 25 years at WIP. I need to buy her a brooch. Where am I going to get a brooch? What am I?
Okay, you're underselling it. It's 29 this month.
29, congratulations.
Hold on. Next year, when Rhea gets to her 30th anniversary, we all have to get her jewelry. So I'm thinking, where do I go? You need a special gift for a special person. Guess what? Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, and now also in Newtown. And Rhea, give us a sample of the great stuff Steven has.
So this is great. So it's the month of August, and the most amazing people are born in the month of August, including my son. So they have, and it's Peridot. Am I pronouncing that right? Peridot?
I don't know. It sounds right.
Well, so I'm going to start with what we always love, the gold dip rose.
That.
Okay. Then these are gorgeous. These are called Silver Limitless. They're Peridot and Diamond. Can you see those?
Oh, nice.
$248. So if you have someone in your life who is a August birthday, they have a beautiful collection of Peridot, if I'm pronouncing that correct.
That's amazing. Other corner of 8th and Walnut, also in Newtown. Go online at IHateStevenSinger.com. You'll see all the stuff Rhea showed you and lots more. There's nobody better. Steven Singer Jewelers.
By the way, guys, I just realized that it's 5:40 in the morning here, 5:50 in the morning. And
you're yelling?
I'm yelling about Rick and Morty. Yeah. And I'm just wondering if the people next door to me think that there's an insane man ranting to himself about how great Rick and Morty is. I mean, they're probably sitting there going, we should call security right now. I don't know what's going on next door. All right. Rhea, you suggested a great British show with the Unforgotten to me. What's another show you've been watching that you want to talk about this week?
So I just started, it popped up pretty new. It's called Gone. It's on BritBox, 6 episodes. Stars David Morrissey, which I know you guys know from The Walking Dead. He was the governor in seasons 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I think, so there's like a short list of stars for British mysteries, I believe they have. And David Morrissey is pretty much at the top of every single one. He stars in a million British mystery shows. So this one, he is a headmaster of a very exclusive school in England, and the location again is absolutely beautiful. His wife goes missing, and his 22-year-old daughter, she lives with him. So the wife is a teacher at the school, daughter's a teacher at the school, and she insists that he, tell the police. Well, he takes a whole day and he's a very cold, calculated. So you're immediately going, this dude definitely had something to do with his wife's disappearance. He goes and tells them. They begin to investigate. It's very slow. I'm through 4 episodes. It really begins to pick up in episode 3. And you're like, oh, the husband definitely had something to do with this. And then you start to go, they start to make him a little bit more emotional, which David Morrissey is capable of doing a whole range of things. I have an idea who I think the person responsible is for it. But here's the crazy thing. So I'm like, this is great. I'm blowing through this. They're going to allow me to binge all 6 episodes. It's a new thing they're doing. I get to episode 4 and I'm like, why is this playing? Why? And so I'm BritBox. I can watch the last 2 episodes if I upgrade to the premium BritBox
Wow.
subscription
Oh,
for $40, $40 for two
whoa.
$40?
episodes. Yeah.
Bait and switch. Bait and switch.
So I don't know when the last 2 episodes are going to drop. Maybe by next show. I will just tell you it's very good, but maybe wait till next week and I can tell you when they drop the last 2 episodes. But I was absolutely not going to drop $40 to
No.
watch 2 episodes.
No.
I thought it was
Definitely
outrageous. It's the first time that has happened to me.
not. No.
So I don't know if it's happened to anybody else, but it happened to me.
Just what the TV companies needed, more ways to make money. Thank goodness.
Exactly.
Angela, what do you got for us this week?
Ladies and gentlemen, I knew it would happen eventually, almost 4 years. In honor of the Phillies, I struck out. I'll tell you my week. I found nothing worth watching this week.
Wow.
Despite, for example, this is how desperate I got. Yesterday, having nothing, I said, I got to do it. I got to try. And I went to Netflix and I watched some of The Hawk, the latest project by Will Ferrell.
Why?
He is, Rhea, you're right. Why? It is. Here's the thing. It's over 5 hours. It's 10 episodes, a little more than half an hour each. You will know exactly what is going to happen in the 5 hours of this show in the first 5 minutes.
Wow.
It is so unimaginative and uncreative. And it's Will Ferrell chewing the scenery like he always does, acting the blowhard, clueless idiot. And it's brutal swill. It is by far the second worst thing I saw this past week.
What is it about middle-aged comedians that make them want to do golf-related shows? We got Happy Gilmore 2 was last year.
Yes.
We got The Hawk. We got Owen Wilson in that show for Apple TV.
Right.
I guess it's just it lets them do what they love, which is play golf and make jokes. I don't know. It's very weird.
And get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson's brother is in The Hawk as a golfer. They must golf a lot. They both got roles as golfers on 2 shows that stink. I tried. Now, the one that had potential, it just didn't hit with me. Furious on that's on, I believe that's on Apple. I'm sorry, on Hulu. Emmy Rossum, a lady serial killer. That's a little different. We don't get much of that. Jake Lacey, who plays a creep in every show he ever does, playing a creep. I thought, it just, I didn't like it. Gail did. She thought it was good, and I went, So I'm going to give that another try, but I can't recommend it. I tried a show called Maddie's Secret. All right?
Okay.
The thing about it was, I'm just going to say it, all right? A guy dresses as a woman, and that's Maddie's Secret. And you'll know it in the first 3 seconds. It looks like a guy dressing as a woman. And it is just a stink bomb. It's awful. And I know it's gotten national release. It's got big numbers on Rotten Tomatoes. Stinker. Awful. So all I can say to you, binge rescue me. That's my recommendation. And because I don't want to give you nothing, if you want to watch network news, which I believe I'm the last one who does.
Right. Yeah, they thank you individually.
NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas, who has been there now for about a year. Tom Yamas is everything David Muir is not on ABC. He is not a carnival barker. He is just a fine journalist going all over the world, interviewing the Pope. He's at the scene for all big things, and he brings you there. He is a really, really good newscaster. And don't watch ABC, watch NBC for your news. He's better. That's all I got.
Very nice. Very nicely done, Angelo Cataldi. Angelo, what did we talk about this week on the show? What do we got?
We mentioned the 2 big movies, Spider-Man and The Odyssey. They are both in theaters right now, and Rhea gives Spider-Man, whatever the latest one is, a high thumbs up recommendation. Yes. If you would like to see Rick and Morty, Check into
So-
a mental institution right now. Okay?
I'm in
'Cause
one
there's
right as we
something
speak.
wrong with you. But if you do, it's on HBO Max. Unforgotten. I saw it on Prime. I know it's on a few things.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you can get it for Prime.
Right. We never talked about anything with Barbie. I guess we'll get to that next week.
Yeah.
I also mentioned that Gone is available on BritBox. Rescue Me is still my biggest pick. Binge it on Netflix. And, NBC Nightly News is on Peacock.
That man right there is Angelo Cataldi, and he is a fixture in the new movie that's coming out on Amazon Prime about
Great.
the Wing Bowl, which I got to see in theaters when it premiered, and it is absolutely fantastic. Angelo, that comes out, is it August 19th?
15th.
15th it comes
I thought
out.
it was 15th, maybe sometime in the middle of August it's out. It's on Amazon, Apple, and YouTube. And all I can tell you is you might have to pay a few bucks to rent it. You will love it. Even if you didn't like Wing Ball, you will like it.
Quick question, Ange, because when you invited me to the premiere and I couldn't go, Clark was very disappointed. Now, he was 15 at the time. He's 17. Can he watch it?
Yeah.
Would you take him to Wing Ball?
No.
Oh, come on, Rhea.
No, but the question is, would he want to go? Yes.
Okay. I would say it's okay. Once or twice, you might have to hide his eyes, especially when his mom's getting run over by a tractor or some kind.
All right, can I watch it? Should I watch it with him or not?
With him, because you're going to want to explain to him some of what's going on.
What I loved about it, Angelo, not only was it a document of a time when, this was the center of Philadelphia sports, it's also something that probably won't ever happen again.
It won't.
When a radio station can set the culture of a town and create such a big event. So it's a unique event. It's singular, and it's also very funny and interesting. And it stars, some of my good friends that I got to watch talk about it. So it's great. Rhea Hughes, by the way, you can listen to every morning on the WIP Morning Show. You can do that on the Odyssey app. Or if you want a visual representation of what's going on, you can check out Rhea's great Instagram page, which is Rhea Hughes 94 WIP. And if you would like to see the rantings of a liberal madman, you can go watch me, Hello Jay Black, on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. I'm just about to cross 100,000 Instagram followers, so I would love for you guys to be number 100,000. Come check me out. I want to thank Steven Singer, our great sponsor, for letting us do this. And I want to thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to write in and tell me what you think about Rick and Morty. Hit the button on the podcast app, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good one.